Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather. In this update, we've got a major snowstorm brewing, bringing blizzard-like conditions that could impact your holiday travel, and bitter cold air comes in from Siberia. So I appreciate all the well wishes out there. I am feeling a little bit better, so I definitely appreciate you hanging in with me. So let's take a look at the overall seasonal snowfall analysis. So far this season, year-to-date snowfall totals, you can definitely see across the board. But this new system that's going to be coming in, I do feel some of these areas like in Oklahoma, through the Missouri Valley, through the Ohio Valley, and even portions of the Southeast are going to be getting some snow with this next system. But man, it's got a lot of bitter cold air back behind it. I mean, this is Arctic, true Siberian Arctic air that's been building. We're talking temperatures have reached up to 80 below zero up here in Siberia, and it's got a one-way ticket with all the teleconnections are starting to come together, and it's going to start shifting south, and it's not going to stop until it hits Mexico, and then it's going to shift off into the east, bringing much of our central and eastern two-thirds of the U.S. going to be impacted from this next system. So I appreciate you out there, all my followers. If you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns on North America, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and you get all my daily updates to keep you well ahead of the storm. And it's important to like this as well. And it definitely helps out more than you know. So let's take a look at the overall setup for today, because over the next couple of days, we're starting to, we're having this snowstorm that's starting to wind down. Man, it left a lot of snow in the Dakotas. Some areas got 3 to 4 feet of snow in South Dakota, but that snow is still kind of winding down up here into the Northeast. Still some heavier snows in portions of Vermont and even New Hampshire. I've even seen some of these areas up here have picked up 2 feet of snow just in the last couple of days. We are having a little system down well further off to the south. We're going to bring in some rain showers for them. But as we transition into your Sunday, we have a new disturbance. This mainly won't be until later on in the evening time frame. That's going to be coming into portions of Texas here. We're bringing some more scattered showers for them. We are going to be seeing that snowstorm still continuing for the upper Great Lakes and through the upper New England area, bringing some snow for them still. But we are watching a new band of snow that's going to be coming in across portions of the far interiors of the Northwest through Montana as well as the Dakotas. And then as we transfer into Monday, so we go into Monday time frame, that disturbance that's coming through Texas is still going to be some scattered showers across essentially from Dallas, all the way down south, and then through portions of the Southeast with just kind of some scattered and isolated activity. All the action is going to be up to the north. Is going to be, we're going to be seeing our first initial signs of that Arctic front really trying to enter the lower 48. Going to bring the snow line a little bit further south now into Montana, through the Dakotas, more snow moving back into portions of Iowa, as well as Minnesota and Wisconsin. And that will also impact portions of Michigan there. So now as we transfer into Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning, we got that blocking high over the top. So a lot of the positives over the top. That's going to force this Siberian Arctic air really plunging into the lower 48. At the same time, our PNA, our Pacific North American index, will start to go positive. So mainly this trough will travel essentially east of the Rocky Mountains and dive in the midsection of the country, bringing the coldest temperatures so far this season. In some cases, you could be seeing the coldest temperatures since December of 1989, folks. So because the high pressure on Tuesday really starts to build, you can already see some of these pressures of 1058 millibar, high pressure. That is some true Arctic air that's really starting to build up there in Siberia, and it's going to be heading into the lower 48. So by the time we get into Tuesday, you can definitely see the transition of that Arctic air mass 41 below zero up there in British Columbia and Western Canada. This is some dangerous stuff. These are actual temperatures, folks, not feels like. These are actual temperatures entering 28 below zero up there in Montana. Through the Dakotas, we're talking it's going to be reaching up to 20 below zero, and that cold air mass will be reaching the single digits as far south into Kansas, and that's just on Tuesday. And that'll bring the snow line with it as well. So as that Arctic air plunges in from the north, that's going to bring the snow line a little bit further south now into Wyoming, swinging through portions of Nebraska. This is on Wednesday time frame, going through Iowa here as we're watching this low pressure center literally kind of basically track east of the Rocky Mountains. And I stopped it here on Thursday, and I'm going to show you all three global models and kind of where they're at right now with the same identical time frame on Thursday morning. Here's the latest Canadian guidance. So it has a very intense 1064 Arctic high pressure. That is some intense, crazy cold stuff, guys. And that is essentially going to pull it east of the Rocky Mountains. And then once it does, it's going to have a lot of lift associated with it. And it's going to bring heavy snow into portions of Kansas, getting into a good part of Oklahoma there, but especially through the Missouri Valley. I mean, we could be looking at blizzard-like conditions in a good part of Missouri here and through Illinois, and then lighter amounts as we transition further north up here into Wisconsin. Here's the latest GFS. It has a little bit more west shift, but it's got an even deeper Arctic high pressure of 1069. That's about the highest you have ever seen on a map like this, guys. That is some crazy Siberian Arctic high pressure right there. But this GFS, same time frame, right? Shifts it a little bit further off to the west. So still essentially east of the Rockies, but it pulls the heavier snow and further off into western Kansas and western Oklahoma, and then diving across through the Missouri Valley. And the European guidance applies the same way. So essentially all three global guidance now has the shift going through essentially Oklahoma, reaching the Texas, Texas Oklahoma border. I mean, you could see some like snow flurries into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but that's about it. Most of the snow is essentially going to be in Oklahoma, in through Missouri, heading through Iowa, and going through Illinois and through Wisconsin. But one thing's for sure, with this cold front, it's going to bring a lot of intense winds. I mean, this is on Thursday morning. We could be seeing wind gusts of 50, 60 miles an hour with this strong Siberian Arctic cold front through a good chunk of Kansas, through Oklahoma, as well as into North Texas as it continues to plunge southbound. So, and as it does, like I mentioned, it's going to bring the coldest temperatures of the season. Here's the latest guidance as this continues to plunge with actual temperatures into the afternoon hour on Thursday. This is right around 4, 5, 6 o'clock time frame. Minus 20s up here in Montana, through Colorado now the minus 9 degrees through Nebraska, even Kansas. And yeah, even portions of Oklahoma could be below zero by then, as that cold Arctic air is 6 in Amarillo, 13 degrees in Dallas-Fort Worth, 20s in Houston. So you can definitely see the transition of that temperature gradient. It's a sharp plunge, a good 30 to 50 degree sharp plunge on the backside with this true Arctic air that's coming in. But again, it's going to bring a lot of snow. So as we transition into your Thursday afternoon, it's really going to be picking up into Oklahoma, but especially through northwestern portions of Arkansas, but especially through Missouri. Look how tight the isobars here, guys. That is some intense winds. I mean, we're talking blizzard-like conditions, almost into portions of Oklahoma, but especially through Missouri, through Iowa, through Wisconsin here, as this powerful low pressure center will dive all the way down into Texas. Look at the red line. That's very seldom you actually see the red line. That's your freezing line all the way through the Rio Grande Valley. I told you it was hitting Mexico, and it's definitely going southbound. It's got a one-way ticket from Siberia to Mexico, and you don't see that very often. You do not see that very often. And look to the north with that shrimp type curl coming in with all cold on the backside and very intense winds. All these areas could be looking at blizzard-like conditions, winds gusting 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, blowing and drifting snow through portions of Ohio, through Illinois, through Indiana here, up to Wisconsin, through Michigan here, as this powerful low pressure center will continue to dive southbound, plunging those temperatures, getting colder and colder and colder. So by the time we get into Friday morning, here's the latest Canadian guidance. Now I put this on there. It is a little bit more colder bias, but I feel like this is model busting cold. This is definitely model busting cold because the cold air is coming straight from Siberia. And we've already known it's been 80 below zero up there. And it's got a one-way ticket to go to Mexico. And it's going to bring all the colder conditions in its wake. So by the time you wake up on Friday morning, we've got widespread. Look at all these areas in purple here that are below zero, as far south into even portions of Arkansas. Could be looking at portions of below zero into extreme portions of Oklahoma. 6 degrees in Dallas-Fort Worth, 13 in Houston. That's crazy cold. 25 degrees in Brownsville. Okay, yeah, that is some intense cold. 7 in Shreveport. Northern portions of Alabama here, Mississippi, and then Alabama, single digits. So yeah, you can definitely see this is some bitter Arctic cold. And then your feels like this is dangerous stuff. I mean, how often do you see a 56 below zero feels like? That is some intense, dangerous, frostbiting cold stuff that's coming into the lower 48 across into Friday, with all these feels likes reaching to -1 below zero in Houston. That is some rare stuff coming for a good part of the United States in through the southeast, with below zero feels likes reaching all the way into the southeast and heading southbound. So very intense, bitter cold Arctic air, but the snow is going to be intense as well. So as we transition into your Christmas Eve, it's all snow on the backside. I feel like this with this inland cutter that's going to be all rain along the I-95 corridor here for a good part of it right now. And then the low pressure center will be coming across again with those blizzard-like conditions, swinging through the Ohio Valley and through the upper Great Lakes with some very intense winds as that colder air continues to drain in. So by the time you wake up on Christmas morning, it'll have a healthy snowpack. I mean, to have a white Christmas, you got to have at least 1 inch of snow on the ground, or if it's actually snowing. So this is what it could potentially look like by the time we get into your Christmas morning. But look at the freeze line draped all the way across through central Florida and off the coast. That is some rare stuff, guys. And it's so rare, we're waking up to almost 95% of the country will wake up on Christmas morning with a freeze. So you guys wanted a cold Christmas. 95% of the lower 48 is going to have a freeze on Christmas morning. So you can't ask for more than that. It's going to feel a lot like Christmas for 95% of the country. So here's the overall blend. I mean, kind of this far out, this is your blend in the snow. So a lot of the guidance is starting to come together on this, east of the Rockies track. Some of these areas could obviously pick up a little bit higher snow amounts, but essentially it moves through Oklahoma, through portions of Arkansas, and then far extreme portions of the southeast and the northern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, getting into Georgia. I even still feel like this is going to be pushed a little bit further south. Even Atlanta's probably going to be seeing some snow out of this deal, swinging through South Carolina, swinging through North Carolina. But the most intense snow is going to be through Iowa, through Illinois, through Indiana, portions of Ohio, but especially into Michigan and through Wisconsin here. We could be picking up some very heavy totals, and once it gets up into the Northeast, some very heavy totals and far extremes upstate New York, getting through Vermont and New Hampshire and through Maine as well. And you can't roll out. It is going to start as rain along the coastline, but you can't roll out on the backside as this comes through, as the colder air pushes through, a couple inches along the I-95 corridor. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.